Welcome back, guys. Back at it again. Mind of OPEX. You already know. Let's dive into it. Let's try to make this short. I might ramble on. I might talk about things that are not YouTube friendly. So hopefully this stays up. And if not, follow me on Odyssey. YouTube's been taking down a lot of my content lately. A lot of it. At least once a week there's another video going down. Now, all my, how do I put this, the pandemic stuff that I talked about, all off YouTube. It's an election year, so me saying that the president has no power and giving you proof for that, in details, boom, that's off. So, I woke up this morning to a phone call from my brother, and it wasn't his cell phone number. Calls me and he goes, "Hey man, my phone isn't working." And this is at 6 a.m. And he goes, "I usually don't call you at this." I mean, he would never call me at 6 a.m. unless there's an emergency. And I'm thinking there's a loved one that died. I'm like waking up. I'm like, huh? What's up? He was like, "Yeah, there's millions of people out of service now." And I'm like, okay, just, waking up, trying to figure things out. My cell phone obviously worked. So I was like, all right, whatever. I go back to bed. I wake up in 2 hours in a panic. I don't have cell phone service. I'm restarting my phone. I can't figure things out. I'm waiting for a load from my boss. My ELD doesn't work. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like half an hour from New York City. I should have internet here. So I'm thinking to myself, and I'm panicking. I'm like, what's going on? Millions of people, no cell phone service. Luckily, last night, I got into a Lowe's, and they have Wi-Fi, and it worked. I'm like, oh, thank God. Contacted my dispatcher. There's tons of problems happening. We already lost a couple loads for today, so now I'm bored making you a video. And, because the brokers have AT&T and they couldn't get cell phone service. I have AT&T. I couldn't get cell phone service. So I'm in a panic. I'm like, okay. And in my head, I'm like, I gotta fucking figure this out. Do I have enough food to survive? Do I have water? I started panicking. I started to panic. And if I'm panicking, the sheeple's panicking. The zombies, as I call them, are panicking. Because the zombie apocalypse is going to be upon us. And we'll get to that in this video. Hopefully we can get through this pretty quick. And hopefully YouTube keeps this video up. I started panicking. And of course, I'm right next to Lowe's. I hook up to their internet and it worked. I was like, thank God. I contacted my dispatcher and I have a backup phone number on Wi-Fi. Now, about an hour ago, my internet or my cell phone service started working again. Thank God. But could you imagine if not only AT&T went down, but all the carriers went down? All the Wi-Fi went down. Could you imagine? Stick with me for 1 second. Imagine. This is my thought process. Now, I'm, again, near a major city, one of the biggest cities in the world. I started getting nervous, but at least there's means to survive, one way or another, even if it was illegal to do so. There was a means to survive. I have like 170, 180 bottles of water in my truck right now. So I could have survived plenty of time with water. I have enough food that'll last me maybe today and tomorrow. And then boom, done. So that was a panic. I don't have a firearm on me or a knife, like a survival knife where I can go out in the woods and whatever, right? Survive. Because I go to military bases with this job. So I started panicking with that. It's like, okay, if I got the person with the gun's going to beat me, Um, so I started panicking like that. Now I thought to myself, if I was in the middle of Montana, so the whole grid goes down. The whole grid. All the internet went down. So, if you have only a card, a credit card or debit card or whatever, and that's all your way of paying for things is through via, a bank card or whatever. A lot of that stuff is run on the internet. Now, a lot of people don't have dial-up, and I don't know if, just imagine if 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G all went down, dial-up went down, and all that shit went down. All our communications went down. Internet and cell phone service. All went down. And I'm in the middle of Montana. And I have 2 days worth of food left. And I can't even get enough fuel because I have the card for fuel. ATMs go down because, that's hooked up to the internet. Everything goes down. I can't buy fuel. I can't go into a grocery store. And I'm stuck in the middle of Montana. No way of getting out of there. Not enough fuel. Right? Grocery stores wouldn't accept my food. EBT wouldn't be accepted. I don't have EBT, but the people that need food don't have it and can't get it. Looting would happen in the matter of like 2 days, if not the first day, because a lot of these people don't have enough food to last that day. So people are at least going to be stealing off the shelves. Oh, dude. Well, if you won't accept my credit card, I'm just going to steal this food. And are they going to start doing that and stealing? Yes, they will. Are they going to stop everyone? No, they cannot. So I thought, in that scenario, and I don't have to be in Montana, but I just thought of that possibility of being out in the middle of nowhere, no nothing, no Wi-Fi, no internet, no cell phone service, no communications. I can't get fuel, so I'm stuck. It's wintertime, everything's freezing cold, and if I can't get, if I don't have fuel, I don't have my APU working, my bunk heater working. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, what's going to happen here? How am I going to survive this? In that scenario, I'd be fucked. You'd be fucked. We'd be fucked. Now, the whole grid going down is not just, we can speculate all day long, but it's not just speculation. It's going to happen. What goes up must come down. What is turned off will eventually turn off. This goes for anything. The power of the Roman Empire declined and boom, psh. What goes up must come down. The sun has to turn off it eventually, right? The point is, the grid will go down. It's not just like a thought that it might. It will. Are you prepared? Do you have self-sustaining instincts? Are you prepared? Do you have the knowledge to survive? Not just like Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts and shit like that. Do you have the know-how to survive? Do you have the ability to survive? And then, not only do you have the ability to survive, do you have the ability to defend yourself in your things that you have 24/7? Looters in the middle of the night, whatever it might be. Because this is the idea here, right? Everything goes down. The stores fucking get looted. In a week or two, there's going to be no more. There's going to be nothing in the stores. Because even in the 2-3 hours that my cell phone was down, and the trucking community couldn't get loads. We couldn't do anything. We couldn't move. Now imagine if you don't have fuel to move. You don't have the whole system, the matrix, is reliant on this grid. Now, if trucks aren't coming in, they loot the stores, there's nothing left on the shelves for 2 weeks. What's going to happen? They're going to have to find another place to get food. So they're going to start looting each other. They're going to start going out into the country where there's farms. Start looting them. The average person will not survive. The average person will not survive. And if that average person doesn't have food, they will find whatever means to have food. Your neighbor, you might give the middle finger to, you might not talk to. That's the general gist in America. You don't even barely even know your neighbor. A lot of you guys have discrepancies of, your kid threw their football in my yard, or my property line's this far, you can't come over here, and they're all, they're flicking each other off, giving each other the bird. And even if you do have one of those neighbors that wave to you every day, what's going to happen when their daughter goes, Dad, I'm hungry, and you have no food? And, they don't have any food? They're coming and getting yours. So even if you do prepare, how prepared are you? That's going to be a question. Because that fucker that's waving to you next door is going to turn on you. It's inevitable. In this scenario where the grid goes down, whether it's just the internet or power or whatever it might be, look, everyone's going to turn into the zombies. The zombies are not prepared. The zombies are willing to do anything to kill and murder so they can get food. They can survive another day. There are hundreds of millions of people just in this country that will not survive. They have no means of even defending themselves. People are going to form groups and basically make it a thing where they become their own little tiny militia group, and they're going to go into neighborhoods and just start fucking with people and killing people. And what are you going to do to stop that? They're going to take your shit. They're going to survive for a little bit, right? You probably don't have a group. We communicate online. We don't communicate with each other anymore. We don't form friendships and bonds where we have a self-sustaining community. We don't have that. We're all reliant on the government and on the grid. We're so vulnerable and susceptible. Again, this isn't a matter of if it will happen, it's when. It will happen. The World Economic Forum, even before the pandemic, started talking about the inevitable cyber attack that will happen. They're the ones that are talking about the Great Reset. The grid goes down for a month. All they really have to do is turn off the chips, and I've told you guys about that, but that'll get me flagged on YouTube again. In fact, this video content in itself will probably get us flagged. Well, follow me on Odyssey. The grid goes down for a month. There's no more food on the shelves. There's no more anything. People are dying left and right. Probably the preemptive strike is to turn off everyone's chip. Achoo. 50% of the population dies. The grid goes down. We can't communicate. Everyone's confused. There's rumors. People aren't talking to each other. Neighbors aren't friendly after the first couple days, let alone a month now into it. And they bring in FEMA and military and foreign militaries, if you believe in that shit, to come in and to, the UN has to recover everything and to reestablish control in America. Now imagine, if you will, if you can, that you're in this scenario. Are you going to survive? Did you put yourself into a scenario you survive? Even if you have an acre and you are living off the land and everything's fine for you and you're not even on the grid. You don't have a cell phone. You have solar panels. You're vulnerable. You can't survive alone. A rogue group of 5 people coming to your house in the middle of the night are going to take you out. 5 people. There's millions of people in this country. There's going to be thousands of groups, little groups that are going to form, where they're going to have to form, or else they die. They're going to take your shit. Are you prepared for that? You have a community where you have military training, you have chickens and gardens and blah, blah, blah. Do you have that? Are you ready to defend your homestead 24/7 and be on alert 24/7? I don't think you are. I don't think there's many, because they've already targeted the alpha males, the militia seekers, and if something was to happen, we have a group that can protect us. You think the police are going to protect you? They're going to be busy protecting their family. Yeah, they're going to have their own groups. They're not there to protect you. Do you have a group? Again, do you have the knowledge? Do you have the preparation so when this happens, you're going to be prepared? I panicked over 3 hours of not having cell phone service today. I panicked. I'm not prepared. My idea is to prepare by November, because I know for a fact what's going on next year. I need to be prepared for that. And I want you guys to prepare for it. And I'm not allowed to talk about what's going to happen next year. It may start as early as December this year. But something's going to happen. Again, I'm not going to talk about it on this. I might tell you in detail on Odyssey. So subscribe to me on Odyssey, and I'll upload it on Odyssey soon, probably, about what is going to happen. And I'm going to detail everything that will happen. I'm not going to detail everything in accuracy, but I will detail what the plan is. But I'm just giving you a scenario here. If the grid goes down, are you prepared? Because just in 2 weeks, I can imagine 50% of the population will be dead. Their plane will not exist if you're here, if everyone's here and everything's working the way it should. But this system's so vulnerable and susceptible to the smallest little interruptions that just destroy everything. AT&T goes down. One cell phone company goes down. The people are shooken up. I was freaked out. Me. Someone who's been thinking this over in their head and preparing for this for 20 years. I was shooken up. The zombies are going to be shooken up. They're not going to have their VR headsets, and they're going to run out of potato chips, and their electricity might go off. What are they going to do? No one prepared. Why is Mark Zuckerberg got a multi-million-dollar bunker? Why is there underground bunkers and cities being constructed? Why is there a huge underground base underneath Denver? Do you think that the president controls the world? This is an election year. Another reason to prepare before November. My idea is to get my chickens. I might even have my brother and a few like-minded people move in with me or around my area. And I should be more silent about where I live or where I'm going to be moving to. I'm buying property this year. I kind of detailed kind of like where I was going with my life recently. But anyways, the point is to prepare. Because if you're not preparing right now, what's going to happen when it happens? Do not obey. They're so used to you being docile and weak that you'll just obey. They're used to it. You're used to the grid. Now, if you can't survive 10 days without the grid, if you can't survive, you're going to be dead when it actually happens. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Now, there are people with enough MREs the last 10 years, and they're like, oh, I'll survive. Maybe. You should be working on every aspect of survival. Again, I need to get out of this truck to survive. I know what's going to happen next year. And again, it might even happen at the very end of this year. This AT&T thing might just be a test run. But it should be an eye-opener to you guys. Again, the grid goes down for 3 hours or whatever, everyone's going to live, right? That's not the plan. The WEF needs a great reset. There's a depopulation agenda and enslave the rest. The great reset is not, I repeat, is not going to just, you'll own nothing. How do they transition to that? Why does the Georgia Guidestones, before that was destroyed, why did they say that they needed humanity under 500 million? They need to kill you guys. And this is going to be taken off YouTube, just like my depopulation videos were taken off YouTube. But again, follow me on Odyssey. You need to sustain your health, physically, mentally, and spiritually. You need knowledge to survive. You need the resources. So this means livestock gardening. You need to save your seeds. You need to protect your soils. You need to compost. I made all these videos, guys, preparing for what's actually going to happen. I made a video which is taken off YouTube. Prepare now before it's too late. I made a video, the president doesn't mean anything. That was taken down from YouTube. My coronavirus videos, my Great Reset videos, all taken off YouTube. This is probably not going to go on YouTube. I mean, I would be surprised if they even let this on YouTube. But my final message is to prepare. Get like-minded people in your community to prepare. And trust these people. Go over drills. Fortify. And again, fortify your physical, mental, and spiritual health. Fortify your resources. Fortify your relationships with people. And try to survive this. Because a lot of people are not going to survive. And then these zombies are going to come for you. Even if you do have enough shit to survive yourself. They're going to want your shit. There are going to be people from the inner cities going out into the country. There are going to be people in the country that are going to be robbing each other. There are going to be people everywhere trying to take your shit. They find out you have shit. They're going to take your shit. They just circle around the block, around your neighborhood. There are going to be people that are going to be in major cities that are going to start trying to camp on your property. People are just going to start. You got to be prepared for all this shit. Do you have an alarm system? Do you have enough people that can be awake 24 hours a day? Because they're going to get you at night. Do you have enough people to survive? Do you have enough food for all these people to survive in your group, in your tribe? Because that's what you're going to need. You're going to need a community. You're going to need a tribe. And again, not just everyone here has a green thumb. Do you have guns? Do you know how to use them? There's so many aspects to this, and you need to cement yourself in a victorious manner, in a victorious agenda. If this is going to happen, we do this. If you got to have all your T's crossed, I's dotted, you need to figure this out. This is going to be my last opportunity to explain this to you. Because we have less than 1 year from now, or about a year from right now. Because I know what's going on, and I'm not allowed to say this on YouTube because I know this video is going to be taken down. But I will talk about this on Odyssey. So in the next 5-6 months, I'm going to show you what I'm doing to prepare. And I will explain to you the reasons behind everything that I'm saying. And I will explain the agenda in more detail. And just to let you know, they can talk about it. Bill Gates and the George Soros and the Buffetts and the Klaus Schwabs, they can all talk about it. They don't get flagged and taken down. But I just repeat what they say and I get taken down. I have a thought too behind, philosophy, thinking. So I encourage you guys, prepare. Get the knowledge. Do it now. Get all the books, because when the grid goes down, you're not going to be like, oh, how do I harvest rainwater? And Google it. No, do it now. Get your fucking pump well. Do it now before it's too late. I even made that video, prepare now before it's too late. It's pretty much too late. I had a conversation with my brother a couple days ago about certain people that are preparing now. And he was like, I've been telling these people for 20 years to prepare, and now they want to prepare. It's already too late. So do what you can now and survive as long as you can. And if you're one of those people that think that there's going to be a savior to save the day, you're wrong. And even if Jesus comes down and saves the day, or you believe Donald Trump's going to save the day, you're wrong. Stop putting your faith and trust in a savior. You be the savior. You be responsible. Period. That's enough for this video. Plenty more content coming. It's OPEX. I'm out.